Okay, so it is show time already, right? Let's go live on our Facebook group and be sure that we are showing right on Facebook. Let's be sure that we're showing on Facebook because I can see that there was a little delay. Okay. It's telling me that we might not be able to stream on Facebook. I don't know why that is. But I'm doing that. I'm doing that right now to be able to stream on Facebook. Right? Alrighty. Okay, I think we should be live on Facebook now. Yes, awesome. So we're live. People are already here watching. We're live again. It is 5 p.m. Now we're back to Nigeria. You know, we went all the way to the US a few minutes ago. And you know what? Coach ID is speaking from my favorite city. Do you want to guess where? Coach ID will be speaking from my favorite city, Uyo. So Coach ID is here. You don't want to know what we did to bring all these people from where they are. If you do, then you are going to actually come back and say, wow, you did so well. Welcome here so much, ma'am. That first session was explosive. In fact, I was listening to the session. Hi, Dr. Louisa. I was listening to the session and I was like, whoa. It came like a hit. Back to back. Non-stop. All right. So now we're having Coach ID, talking to us on leadership, parenting and leadership. Our first topic was parenting and civility. All the topics today, in fact, it's something that I really will want to listen. But let us guess who Coach ID is. Coach ID Peter is a mind shift, life parenting and family coach. She's also a motivational speaker. She's certified by the precious John Maxwell Leadership Institute, widely known as the Voice of Impact. She has founded several organizations like the Blaze of Light Academy, the Blaze of Hope Foundation, which is a charity organization with mission to transform and widen the awareness of those she comes in contact with. She ensures they experience a mind shift and live their life in full potential. Coach ID, I don't want to murder her name. It's called Ndong Guests. All right? She has worked with a myriad of professionals and leaders globally and empowered them to live their full potential. She's also an alumni of Delare Oka, Delare Olushola Coaching Academy, and a member of the Life Coaches Associations of Nigeria. Her initiative, Blazes of Hope Foundation, like the name implies, has consistently brought hope to young students from less privileged homes by providing school and food supplies to their needs. Today, Coach ID is going to be sharing with us how is parenting leadership? What has that got to do with anything? Let me tell you again that the internet is a game changer in the 21st century parenting. Those are my words. I haven't met Coach ID before in real life. So that is to show you that what we're dealing with is a big deal. Of course, I also told you that I hadn't met Dr. Casio, yet we had done so much together. It's as if it's like family. Someone I can call up and say, oh, ma'am, please, can you help me with this and all that? We've done so much together. And I'm sure that you're also going to be seeing Coach ID a lot in the TIP Academy. Hey, Coach ID, welcome to the Intentional Parent Conference. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you, the International Parenting Academy, for having me. And it's so good to be here, but yet I have to take time to say, Wendy, thank you so much for transforming the lives of families. It's really an awesome thing that you're doing. You just show what I see in you is When somebody has a purpose and a call, and the person does all she has to do to follow that purpose and a call, there is no way that the world does not feel and see what God has put in you. So thank you very much. So hi everybody. Wow, what a session with Dr. Akai. So what energy, right? I like the comment that said punchline, punchline. Okay, so I'm coming in with another thing, and we are talking about parenting and leadership. Parenting. My life transformed when I became a parent. Like every young girl, when I got married, the first thing on my mind was how to have children. And that's one thing the society presses upon us. You get married, and nobody actually goes to tell you that there should be an academy. I mean, when I got married back then, if I had known there's an academy like this, which is not only open to parents, but would be parents will gain a lot from being part of this academy. Because if you know the tools for what you're about to do, if you have the right tools to do the job, then you will not stumble and fall and be doing trials and error. Because most times, what is wrong with parenting is that we are doing trial and error. We don't really have this side of academy, to put us through on what to do. So my parenting life had been exciting. I got into parenting. I was so grateful that before the end of 1 year, I had a child. But then I had always thought that parenting is all about having children. And no, it is not. Parenting, it's a job. It's the biggest job, is the greatest job. Before every other job is the highest job that God has given to us. And so when I had the first child, I stumbled and fell. And I think the good Lord knew that this girl is not doing it well. So he gave me a space of 8 years. 8 years I had to wait and pray and endure pressure before I could have another child. And even then I had to wait another 8 years. And I used to question God and say, why did I have to wait 8 years? Eight years to have children. But now I have come to appreciate these 8 years of waiting. Because in 8 years of waiting, I came to realize and value what I had as my children. And then it also keeps me grounded. I had to go and get a certification as a parent and family coach. So I have that additional certification as a parent and family coach from a John Maxwell team. And now I am an all-round parent because I have a 16-year-old, I have an 8-year-old, and I have a 1 year and 6 months. So life can be interesting between listening to a 16-year-old talk about how to, mommy, when can I use my makeup? Mommy, when am I going to go on social media? When am I going to join Instagram? To an 8-year-old, we say, mommy, you need to come and ride the bicycle with me. And while I'm doing the bicycle, somebody's crying upstairs. They have to change the diaper. So life as a parent is a full-time job. And then I want to tell you here that no matter what you are going through, you might think that you are not doing it right. You might think that you have failed. One thing I want you to know is that nobody has this figured out. Everybody is learning. Parenting is a lifelong learning experience. Nobody ever learns. As your child grows to a different stage, you have to learn. If you have a baby, you have to learn how to parent a baby. When the child grows into childhood, you now have to learn how to parent a child. Then you have the teenager. You have to evolve into a parent that is leading a teenager. So nobody has this figured out. So today I just want you to know that you are a VIP. So on the comment section, just type VIP. Do you know what a VIP is? Very intentional parent. Yes, that's you. For you to be right here, and you can be busy, but you have time to sit down here and listen to me, and you have joined this group, the International Parents Academy group on Facebook, and you are listening to Wendy, you are doing great. You are a VIP, a very intentional parent. So parenting is all about leadership. So keep typing there, keep saying there, VIP, VIP, I am a VIP. It says declare a thing and it shall be established. You don't feel like it, you've not done well, that's okay. Because when you keep saying it, you keep being it. Because there's power in every spoken word. VIP, what is influence? Leadership is short and simple, influence. If you can influence somebody, then the person will follow you. If you are a parent and you don't have an influence over your child, I like what John Maxwell says, because everybody knows that in the family, the parents are the leaders of the family. And here I'm talking about, there's single parents, there's the couple, and even if you are taking care of a child, but you did not father that child or you did not give birth to that child, that's okay. You still fall under this role of parents. So parenting is about leadership. And what is leadership? Leadership is influence. I love what John Maxwell says. He says, if you are a leader and you find yourself at the top, then you are not a leader, you are a hiker. It means you've gone all the way up and you've forgotten the people down. So leadership is all about influence. If you have influence on your children, then they'll always do what you say. They'll look at you. I don't know if you remember our parents those days, that when you go to somewhere and your mother, you're doing something and there are people around, all your mother had to do was just go. She'll give you that stare. My mother had a stare for everything. My mother had a stare for, it's time, let's go. Because she doesn't want you to protest and say, Mommy, I don't want to go. So she has a stare for, it's time, let's go. She has a stare for, stop talking. She had a stare for, don't collect anything from anybody. So because of the influence that she had on us, when we see the stare, we know our mother's stare. So I can say that at that point, my mother was a leader because she was an influencer. So let's get back to you being a VIP and really go down to, how can you just be this leader in your family? How can you be this VIP? Now, V is vision. A family must start with a vision. You have to have a vision for your family. Without the vision, the people perish. Even the Bible says, write down the vision and run with it. Many a times what happens in the family is that we don't have a vision. We don't have where we are going. If you don't have a vision for your family, you don't have direction. So you must first start with having a vision. A vision is indispensable quality of leadership. If there is no vision, there is no direction. One of the ways to have a vision in your family is to know why. Have a why in your family. Why are you bringing these children? Why do you have these children in your house? Do you have these children in your house because you just want everybody to know that you have kids? Do you have the children because you don't want everywhere to be quiet and you like some noise? Do you have the children because they just look good when they walk with you? Why are you having these children? Why do you have the children in your house? Why do you desire more children? You see, we don't have this conversation as a couple. So if we don't have this conversation, we will not have, an anchor, because your why is the reason that you do something. Your why is the anchor at the storm. Your why is the reason that you go through these things and all the challenges with the children and the leadership that comes with it. So if you have a vision, you have a why. Why do you have these children? You have these children because God has given you some people and has blessed you with people that you are going to mentor so that they'll become future leaders of tomorrow. You have these children because God has seen that, yes, you are capable of being given these precious gifts so that you can lead them. If you are not able to parent these children, if you are not able to lead them to a brighter future, God will not give you. The Bible says he did not call the seed of Abraham in vain. So I want you to know that the reason you have those children is because God knows you can do it. God knows he can trust you to lead these children to a good future. God knows that you are able to do this job. All effective leaders must have a vision, because you have to have a vision for what you accomplish. And then you have to communicate this vision to your family. Every family must know the direction for where they're going. For instance, there was time like 5 years ago, before we moved into our house, my husband wanted to build a house. We were staying in a rented apartment. He wanted to build a house. And he had to call a family meeting and say, look, the vision of the family is changing. We are going to build a house. And everybody was excited. Yeah, we are going to have a house. Yeah. But the thing is that some things have to be cut down. Some expenses have to be cut down. Some holiday trips have to be cut down, because the vision of this family is that we are going to build a house. So daddy and mommy are not going to be able to buy you some certain things again, because we are now moving. You know, when you communicate a vision to the children, when you make your children part of the vision, they become, that's when teamwork comes in. That's when team spirit comes in. So your children begin to have that team spirit. Everybody works towards the vision. I can remember my daughter, that time she was really young. She came to me with 100 naira, and she said, "Mommy, I went to grandpa's place and he gave me this 100 naira. I want you to put it so that you can use it to buy the bed that they'll put in my own room." You see, everybody keyed into the vision. So every family must have a vision, and every family, you must communicate that vision to your children as a leader. The next thing we see here is that you must have family values. Dr. Louisa just told us about family values. Family values are your principles and your standard. It is said that if you don't stand for something, you can fall for anything. What is your family value? As a leader in the family, as an influencer, you must have family values. Now, one of the values my mother taught me was, this one was really deep in our family. She said, you should not ask anybody for money. No, my mother got this value so much into us that she made us understand that somebody's money was somebody's money, and you have to work hard to get your own. So till now, I find it very difficult, even in my husband. I mean, my husband can keep his money. I find it very difficult to take 1 naira from that money unless I ask him. And that's because of the value that my mother put in me. And that value also made me strive to have my own money as a woman, because I knew it's very difficult for me to go begging for money, even from my husband. You know, I mean, I can ask him, but I know that I'll feel more comfortable if I had my own. So what are the values that you have? Every leader, every parent leader, must have a family value. Every value must be there in a family, and you must communicate this value to your children. Next, we see the role description. Every family must have a role description. Now, I want you to take your family as a business. Your family is an organization on its own. Yes. You are the CEO of your company. You can call it, in my case, I call it the Peters Company. I and my husband are the CEOs of this company. And then if you are the CEO of your company, and imagine that this is a company, you have to define roles. The problem that we have is sometimes that in a family, we don't have the roles. Nobody knows what their part. Nobody knows what they're supposed to do. Now, if you have a place and a company, and you employ your staff, and the staff members are not given the roles of what they're going to do, they don't know their position and what they're told to do in that position, what happens is that nothing will ever get done. So we have a sort of confusion that mommy doesn't go to pick the child on time because she thinks that daddy had gone, and daddy didn't go because daddy thought that mommy has gone. Nobody went for PTA meeting because nobody really knew who would go for PTA meeting that day. And so the child begins to feel this absence. Somebody asked in the other session about family time, having time. You know, it's very difficult sometimes because of our job for us to all have that time. But yes, you create time to sit together. But Dr. Louisa talked about time block. You can block it individually too. And you can block a time together so that individually you have your own time. There is something that your daughter can tell the mommy and they will not tell daddy. And there's something that the son can tell daddy and will not tell mommy. And there's something that you guys have to figure it out together. So you must be able to have a role, and everybody must know the role that they play. Even the children must have a role. Another thing we see there is rules. Have rules. Have rules for your family. Every leader must have a rule. Every organization have a rule. Remember, I said that you have to know that your family is your first company. Without rules, there is no maintenance, there is no orderliness, there is no discipline. So create a rule and have that rule posted. Let all the children know their rules. Let them know the consequences of breaking the rule. In fact, when you are making the rule, make it together. Because every leader must be able to sit down and make a rule. And as a parent leader, there have to be rules that guide the family. And then on that vision, we have faith. The foundation of every family is faith. God is the first and the most exemplary of all leadership. Without God in your life, I don't know who, I mean, we have so many people here. I am a person of faith. I don't know who is your supreme being. Mine is God, but I believe that God, if you have God as the foundation of your family, then He will lead you on which way you should go. So the vision that you have for your family, you must first and foremost surrender it to God and have a time to pray together concerning that vision and then communicate that vision to your children. Now let's go to the I. Remember, I told you you are a VIP. I stands for influence. As I said before, leadership is influence. The true measure of leadership is your ability to influence another person. So if you're a parent and you cannot influence your child, then you are not a leader. Then you are not leading. You know, we see some things that some people that are just leader by figureheads, leader by name, leader by position. Have you ever been to somewhere and the person is a leader, but there's somebody there in that meeting that is actually leading? Everybody is listening to Mr. B, but Mr. A is the one that is supposed to be a leader. So Mr. B is always, you know, looking at Mr. A is always looking at Mr. B to say something because Mr. A has not owned his own position as a leader. So for you to be influential, you have to first and foremost own your position as a leader. Because some people always say, oh, I'm not a leader, I'm not very good at leading. You know, leaders are born and are not made. No. I want you to have a different mindset today. Because I've told you, as far as you have one person in your life that you are influencing, then you are a leader. And I believe everybody is a leader. As far as you have one person that looks up to you, even if it's at work, one person that listens to you, you are a leader. Now, there's something I saw on the internet. I don't know how many people saw it. It was a post that was going viral. A boy, that should be like 2023. I think that boy should be about 2023. He was in the mother's kitchen throwing tantrum. He was breaking things, pouring the curry powder, breaking the glasses. This boy was just on the wall on his own. And at the background, you can hear the mother said, hey, see what he's doing. I have talked to him. It's because he asked me for this and I told him I don't have it. That's why he's breaking all these things. The boy was not listening to her. She was breaking. Now, the person that posted it was saying, what could have gone wrong here? I'm not going to stay here and judge the mother because I don't have the full picture. And besides, parenting is already difficult. So we don't want anybody judging somebody. Instead, as parents, we should come together and help because nobody has this all figured out. Nobody. But this child was just breaking things and he wasn't listening to the mother. But all I know is that another set of people came. It was a husband and a wife. And they kept talking and talking, but the child was not listening. And the mother was just ranting and ranting. Hey, let him break. Nobody should stop him. Let him break everything. But what I saw is that one man went into that kitchen because people couldn't go inside. The guy was actually violent. He was breaking things. But he should have been an uncle because he said, listen to me. This is uncle. And he called his name. And the boy was breaking. But this man went inside the kitchen and he held the boy and he started talking to the boy. And all I heard him saying was, listen to me. This is your uncle. This is me. Listen to me. And I watched this boy. He didn't stop immediately at what he was doing. But one thing he did was he started communicating. He started telling the man what the mother did. And that's one thing. That man was influencing that boy. And you could see that in that life, that is the person that was influencing him. The mother had lost influence at that point. So leadership is influence. At the end of the day, the man got the boy to calm down, and I'm sure they must have resolved because the video cut. But what I saw there was that if you are not influencing your children, somebody else is influencing your child. We just finished a session and we talked of Kim Kardashians and the like. That Kardashian and Beyonce have become the children's parents. The social media is crazy now. Oh Lord, the social media is crazy. These people are being influenced by so many things. So it's time for you to step up and be what I have just told you today. Very influential parents, and begin to influence your children. Now, how do you influence your children? How can you be an influential parent? How can you step up to that role of being a very influential parent? One, self-awareness. You cannot grow yourself unless you know yourself. It all starts with you. A parent that is emotionally unstable cannot expect to lead and raise a child that is more emotionally stable. It's not possible. You cannot give what you don't have. That's why this academy is so good, because you come in here and you hear things and you share with other parents. There is a forum here. Wendy is there. You can talk to her. There is a forum on the Facebook that you can discuss, because you have to have awareness. You have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in personal development. When last did you go and pay money so that somebody can teach you about yourself? Do you know yourself? Do you know your strength? Do you know your weaknesses? Do you know your peak time? There are some people that are morning people. There are some people that are afternoon people. There are people that are evening people. When is the time that you are most functional? Do you know what can break you? Do you know the best time that you can have a conversation with your kids? Because I mean, if you are emotionally intelligent, then you'll be able to step out. Sometimes there are people that they are too choked up with emotion, they say the wrong thing. But if you are emotionally intelligent, you will know if you are the type of person that should immediately say something when you are upset, or you are the type of person that should step out and take a breath, take 10 breathe 3 times, 10 times, meditate before you come back and say something. Because when you are talking to your child, you should not react, you should respond. There's a difference. When you are reacting, you are just taking the hit the way it's coming. But when you are responding to something, you have thought about it. You have gained knowledge. You have gained wisdom. You have used your 6 faculties of reasoning, memory, intuition. You have put everything together, imagination. You have put yourself in your child's shoes, so that when you are talking to your child, you are responding, you are not reacting. We have a lot of parents that just react. They flip. When you flip on a child, you push them back inside. That which they had to say, they're not going to be able to say it again. So many times we silence our children because we are reacting, we are not responding. When you see that text message on your child's phone, what's the first thing that you want to say? That first thing you want to say it to yourself first, and hear and listen to it. Now, another thing I used to tell parents is, before you do what you used to see your parents do to you, ask yourself, how did it make me feel? Because I went to see a friend the other day and we were talking and gisting. She has just one son. And she told the son, hi, she called the son's name. Come, please, check what's on the fire. The son obviously went to check what's on the fire. I said, okay, is it done? And the son just said, Mommy, I don't know. Because she now said, I may leave this place. If you're a girl, you would have been useful to me. Whoa. And I literally saw this boy put down his head and just walk away. And then I told her, when the boy left, I told her, come, why did you say that thing to your son? She now laughed, leave all these children. I said, no, I'm not leaving the children. I want to know, where did you get that from? You didn't just manufacture that. It didn't just come up. That came from your subconscious mind. Where did you hear that from? And then she became sober. And she told me, now I remember where I got that from. My father, we're all girls. My mother gave birth to all of us and we are all girls. And my father really hated that he didn't have a boy child. And people used to mock at him because he didn't have a boy child. And so most of the time when my father would send us to go and do something that he felt a boy child would do and we couldn't do it, my father would shout on us and say, will you leave this place? If you're a boy, you would have been useful to me. Now, what happens is that because she has heard that so many times, it has built into her subconscious mind. And without even thinking, boom, she has said that to her son. And she's beginning to create that same scene in her father's house again with her own child. We have to know that before you say what your father used to say to you or your mother used to say to you, ask yourself, how did I feel when I was spoken to that way? Servanthood, that's another way of being influential. You don't have to be a leader at the top and somebody has to do everything for you. Servanthood means that you are a participatory leader. You are a leader that comes down and you are with the children. Now, Dr. Louisa said something about, playing with the children. I have heard people say, your children are not your friend. You are their mother. You are not your friend. I really disagree with that. When it comes to family leadership, there's something that is called situational leadership. Situational leadership is a flexible form of leadership where you adjust your leadership skill based on your environment and the situation you find yourself. So, as a parent, you are a situational leader. You see, if you are working in an organization and let's say you have a staff that is really good, you are going to be playing so many roles in that person's life. You are going to be his boss when you have to be his boss. You are going to be his mentor when you have to be his mentor. And sometimes you are going to throw out your wig or you remove your tie and you keep maybe a bottle of red wine and you people will just drink, just because you want to have a connection. So don't box yourself and say, I am a leader, I am your father. No, you are the father, you are the mother, you are the friend, you are the mentor. You are the football team. You are the cheerleader when you have to be. You are the makeup artist when you have to be. You are everything to your child. You are an all-round leader. So be that leader. Be a situational leader. Yes, you can be a friend to your child. You know why? Because friendship is where you have the connection. Be the type of person that when your child goes outside and sees something she doesn't like, let her feel comfortable or let him feel comfortable to come and tell you. Build a home that they are comfortable to come back to, because there are some children that cannot wait to leave their home to a boarding house. There are some children that cannot wait to leave their home and be on their own because their home is no longer comfortable. Be a situational leader. Now, the last one, P, is for parenting skill. You have to have a skill for parenting. Parenting is a job. And every job, you have to have a tool for it. You have to have a skill for it. First, communication skill. You have to know how to communicate with people. Communication is two-way. Let's not be those parents. In those days, your father would say, shut up, I'm your father, I am talking to you. Mine used to say, listen, I am your father, I know what is good for you. No. Yes, we know what is good, but it's two ways. Let us also listen to them, because we can learn so many things from our children. Look, we are learning from our children. If you think that you know everything, go and buy the latest gadgets. It is you that will call your teenager and say, abeg, come and show me. Because the world is evolving and we cannot catch up. We are trying to catch up. These children at a point, they'll be the one to teach us. So be that type of parent that is open to communication. One of the things that we have to really do in communication is to listen. I don't want to tell you how to talk because we do a lot of talking as parents, but listening. Now, what is listening? Listening is not hearing. Hearing is when you hear what is going through. It's like a noise. You can hear a sound. But when you listen to connect. Listen to connect. That means listen with all your emotions. Have the eye contact. Once I was talking to my daughter and she said, mommy. I said, okay, I'm listening. I was on my phone. I said, I'm listening. I'm trying to multitask, which is all what all of us do. We want to multitask. Yeah, talk, I'm listening. Talk, I'm listening. And you know what? She just stopped talking. I said, talk now. She said, mommy, you are not listening. I said, no, I'm listening. He said, but mommy, you are not looking at me. And I got that. So when she comes to me now, and if I'm busy, I'll say, can you give me 5 minutes? Because I want to listen to you and I want to look at you. You see, when you listen to your child, it shows that you are present. When you listen to your child, it shows that you are available. Listening is the best way to form connection. Listening prevents something from escalating into a problem. One of the ways that you can also form this conversation and listen is to ask open-ended questions. You have to learn how to ask questions as parents. Now, you have to ask open-ended questions. Let me give you an instance. If you go on a vacation and you come back and you tell your child, how did you like that vacation? That's a closed-ended question because she's going to say, fine. Did you like the vacation? Yes. How was it? Fine. But when you say, what did you like about the vacation? When you ask open-ended questions, you are going to get into a conversation with your child. You are going to gain a deeper insight. Open-ended question always make you start, is a conversation starter. Open-ended question makes you get into a conversation with your child. And the more you ask this question, the more you gain insight. If you want to know the power of asking questions, just look at your child. Do you know how many times that your child will ask you questions? I don't know about your own child, but mine is a question. I call her questionnaire. She's always asking. And I think most children ask questions. But you know, that's the only language they understand. When you ask your child questions and you ask him or her an open-ended question, you are developing her intellectual faculty. Because when you ask questions, you are helping them to develop their faculty of reasoning. They will begin to think. Ask them questions that will cause them to think. Ask them questions that will cause them to reason. Because when the only way that you can get into the mind of your child and have access to that information that you need is if you ask questions. And you know another thing about asking questions is it communicates something that you're not verbally saying to your child. When you're asking your child question, you're trying to tell her you matter. You're telling your child your opinion matters to me. You're telling your child I am present. You're telling your child you are interesting. You are telling your child, I want to know more about you. When you ask your children questions, you are invariably telling them and communicating to them that I enjoy your company. So always ask questions. Then another thing is observation skill. Develop your observation skill. Every one of us, we have observation skill. I mean, if you're a father and you're listening to me now, the way you observe that football and analyze it, observe your child that way, okay? So if you go to your social media time, you'll be shocked at how many hours you spend on your social media. I mean, some phones have this social media time and you look at it, I can't believe I spent 3 hours. That's because you're observing something. So it's just the way you observe that football, observe your children. Have time to observe them. You know, because when you observe them, it's when you catch them doing something. Do you know that there are some children, in some families, some children commit suicide and the parents don't even know when they lost it? That child must have been saying something. I mean, they weren't saying it verbally, but their body language, everything was telling you something. Everything was screaming help. They didn't open their mouth, but something was going on. And if you had taken that time to observe, then you will know. A leader is a very observant person. A parenting leader, a parent that is a leader, is always there to observe. Imagine a football coach that was not observing. How will you know that a player is tired and you are looking for a replacement? How will you know that a player is about to go into danger because his motion is too hiked up and he's going to get a red card? That's because as a coach, you have to observe. That's why I said it's an all-round thing. You are a situational leader. So sometimes you have to put on your coach and become the coach in your family and lead as a coach lead by observing the football field and seeing what is going on. Which player is weak? Which child is not talking again? Which child is spending so much time on the social media? I am not seeing this child in the parlor. We are all sitting down here watching TV and a child is missing. What is this child doing? And you have to go up to the room because a child can be missing and the child is upstairs and is engaging with a pedophile on Facebook. We have to step up. You are a VIP, a very influential leader. Finally, I want to talk about flexibility. Be flexible. Be a situational leader. I've already spoken about flexibility. You know, be everything to your child. Be everything. If you have a toddler crawl on the floor, yes. My son had me crawling the other day on the floor. And he was so happy that mommy was crawling. You know, if you want to play balloon, play balloons. You know, the other day my daughter said, Mommy, you have to play balloons with me. I mean, I had to remove my suit and come down and I began to play balloon. Then my teenage daughter said, Mommy, I'm going to make you up today. Well, I had to just become should I call myself a mannequin and just allow them to make me up. So leadership in parenting is supposed to be fun. And just get this. I don't know if you are, beating up yourself and saying you've not gotten it right. It's okay. As far as there is life, there is hope. Take that. As far as there is life, there is hope. When you begin to focus on your children, it says that where your focus is, your energy flows. When you focus on your children, when you become self-aware, when you develop yourself, you see that when you change some things about you, the way you see things begin to change. You are a very influential parents? Thank you very much. I'll be taking questions from here. Thank you so much. Hi, Chinere. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you so much, Coach ID. That's another bomb come at us again in this session. So we are waiting for questions as we take questions so that Coach ID can take questions. We have 15 minutes to go because that's exactly 6 p.m. Like I said, we like to keep to time at TIP Academy. The Intentional Parent Academy likes time. All right. So we are going on to be having another coach all the way from the US as well. Again, today at 6 p.m. All right. So if you're here, you have questions, please ask your question. We're going to bring it up on the screen and Coach ID will see, and she will respond to your question. Someone says, you have a lot of accolades here, Coach ID. We're going to be bringing it up here. Someone says, wow, the coaches are on fire. Yes, we don't bring you anything short of the best you can trust. All right. Somebody said, absolutely explosive. Thank you so much. Don't guess to Peter. I can see your people from Uyo hailing you from Uyo. I think Onye is one of the parents of the. We have something called the VIP parents in the academy, the Intentional Parents
Oh,
Academy.
really?
Onye is part of the VIP parents. Yes. All right. Someone says, whoa, goose pimples all over me. Whoa, okay. Awesome. All right, Coach ID, I have a question that was asked in the previous session, and I'm going to ask you. Someone was
Okay.
saying that because we ran out of time and then we didn't bring it up. Someone was asking, so if we're saying that it is about what we watch, we should not watch all those things, but parents are watching things like Big Brother, does it mean that we should not watch those kind of things? That's what a parent was actually asking in the comment section. So I want you to put out, you're talking about leadership. I want you to put out some words on that topic.
I'm not going to really come on hard on parents and say don't watch what you want to watch. I mean, we are adults, so you have a control over what you want to watch. But one thing I just want to say, what you watch can also influence you because you have a mind. And remember, garbage in, garbage out. So, in as much as you don't have to, and nobody's going to tell you what to watch, just know that you as a person also can be influenced. So, you also have to know what you are watching. Because one day, like I told you about that girl that unconsciously said that which the father said to her. She didn't plan that. What she kept hearing repeatedly was put into her subconscious mind. And then it just came. So if you are not careful and you keep watching what is garbage, the garbage is going to come out one day. So in as much and as I can't tell you not to watch what you are going to watch, just know that garbage in, garbage out.
Thank you so much, Coach. I like when you said you need to, I think I wrote it, said you cannot grow yourself except you know yourself. In fact, it was as if it went into my head and, like, oh, okay, she's speaking my words. Awesome. It was such an explosive session. Like I always say, I write. I am a long life learner. I learn every minute. And when I'm learning, I'm writing. So these sessions for me, it's not just come here, sit back. With my book, writing, jotting. If I have two notepads with me, you don't even want to try. You don't even want to try. So, all right. Someone says, Onye is being from your state, and she said, "Thank you so much." We have somebody saying, "I'm from your state. You are awesome." The Uyo people are here. They will not hear what. It's okay. Just know that we love your city. Yes. All right. That thing about the environment. There's something about being in New York. It's so calm. It's so no aggression. It's one thing that I observe anytime I'm in New York as a city. Aggressions are so less. No, so much. I just like and you can see Coach ID now. coming from there. You can see how calm, cool that she is. All right. Thank you so much. I don't think we have any questions popping up. But while we are at it, I'm going to ask you one question. Okay, that you throw more light on it, and as we begin to also round up. People say, yes, I'm a parent. I cannot kill myself. You heard that before now. Yeah. I can't kill myself. Why must I just, everything is on my head? Is there something more, parents need to understand about parenting? I heard you say parenting is a job. This is something that I have said countless time. But I don't think it's a very people have not been able to actually get that in their minds. What else do you think can be done to make people understand that parenting is something that you take up and you go and ask somebody, please, where is the job description for this role? I need to learn it, I need to study it, and I need to live it. What do you think we can do more, really?
Okay, let me just get, I'm not going to move forward. I'm going to tell you I'm going to be there. If you don't take care of your children, life is like this, it evolves. When you are a child, right, somebody took care of you. Now, when you're an adult, you can take care of yourself. But guess what? At a certain age, you have to go back to that age of being a child. Somebody has to take care of you. So there's a certain time in your life that you've grown old, and somebody has to take care of you. And that's when you know that, did I do a good job or didn't I do a good job? Because when you find yourself alone at an age that you have loved to take care of you, then it becomes a pain. Also, you can say, I can't kill myself. But do you know that when these children start misbehaving and going into terrible things like drugs and all that, the pain will still be yours? And let me hit you with another one. These children were sent to you by God because He gave you a task. Do you know that He's going to ask you what you did with His children? He's going to ask you, what did you do with the children? And there is a reward for it. So, no, apart from just saying, I can't kill myself, just know that the society that we live in, you are responsible for this. We look at the government and say, oh, the government is bad. But we parents can change. You are not just taking care of one generation, you are taking care of another generation. Because if you don't get it right here, this generation is going to marry another generation. Look, if you don't take care of your own child and somebody else is not taking care of his own child, what if that somebody else's child is abusive and he comes and marries your own child? One way or the other is going to affect you. So let's just know that we live in a world that we are all connected. And if we as parents do all we can do, then this world which we live in can become a better place. It all starts from the home.
Thank you so much, Coach ID. I think I have one question, and that will be the last question we deal with because we have just 7 minutes to run. Someone says, please, how do I handle my girls, 8 and 7? They love visiting my neighbor's apartment against my wish. I don't trust anyone, especially the teenage boys.
First and foremost, what are they going there to do? There's something that is calling them in the other house, and that thing is not in your own house. So find out. It's time to have a conversation. Instead of scolding them and saying don't go, be interested in finding out what do you like. What do you love about going to that place? Because it might just be something that you lack in your own house that they need. And then also go to where they are going. Why don't you invite the people that are going to meet to your own house so that you can even see who are there that are going to see? And depending on, I always say it's not too late to 8 years old, 7 years old. It's not too late to have the talk. Right now, children are developing so fast. Don't be afraid to have a talk with them. If you see my 8 years old, she's all everywhere. I have had that talk. You know the talk, the sex talk, telling them, don't be afraid to have the talk with the 8 years old and 7 year old. Let them know. And when you're talking to them, one of the things I say, don't say, my pee, my wee, no. Tell them, call it by your name. Somebody will touch your colleague vagina, call it promise. No time for wee pee pee. Call it what it is and tell them if somebody touch, these are parts that are private to you, these are parts that are public to you. If somebody touches you, what do you do? So have the talk with your children, but most importantly, find out what are they going there for, because that will necessarily tell you if that is lacking in your home and you make up for it.
Thank you so much. And I think that will be the last question that we're going to be taking in this session. I want to say thank you to Coach
Thank
ID.
you.
And we're going to be moving straight to another session at exactly 6 p.m. We're going to be having Celia. Celia Kilber is not someone that we do not know in the academy. Celia has been a face in the academy in the recent time. She's going to be speaking all the way from the US, talking about taming your toddler. This session today has been so mind-blowing. In fact, someone sent me a whole sheet of paper, snapped, and said, I am with my notes and writing. Coach, you need to see my notes. It's just been awesome. Back to back, I am so grateful to God that the parents are getting some value here. Thank you so much for coming all the way from Uyo, ma'am.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best. Please, what will be the last words that you have for the parents who are watching you?
Just one word, VIP. Very influential parent. That's what you are.
VIP, very influential parents. We're going to be sending details of all the coaches that have spoken. In case you want to reach out to them, we're going to be sending you via emails, via our Telegram channel. So if you're not part of it, please go and subscribe to that conference. And then for everybody who is registered at the conference, we have lots and lots of gifts. Some of the speakers have some freebies, but it's only going to be for the people who are registered. So please don't accuse me. It's going to be right in your email. It's going to be for only those who are. I personally have a free book for you. Aha. So yes. So all right. So and we also have a whole company coming in with lots and lots of freebies just for the parents who registered at this conference. Thank you so much, Coach ID.
Thank
We're going to
you.
be sending details. You can find Coach ID on social media. You don't get St. Peters. If you have her, put her on social media. I found her on Google. Some of us are on Google, right? So yeah. So you can find her on any of the social media handles and follow her. But most importantly, we're going to be sharing details of all the coaches so that you will get to them. Thank you so much, ma'am. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Wendy.
you. We feel so honored to have you. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you. I saw Celia in this group. Celia is going to be speaking just right after now. I'm so blessed having all the coaches come into the session, sit down to learn as all the coaches are speaking back to back. This is awesome. I also saw that immediately Dr. Cassio dropped. Dr. Cassio is still here, listening and following. Oh my goodness. We feel so blessed. Thank you so much. And see you in the next 3 minutes again, where we will welcome Celia. Thank you, everybody, and do have a good evening.